Hello, I'm Todd Starnes. Big debate tomorrow night, which you can watch on Fox News Channel or right here on foxnews.com. One of the big elephants in the room is expected to be Planned Parenthood funding, which the Republicans in Congress just can't seem to defund. An effort by the Senate failed, while the House of Representatives right now is off sipping fruity drinks with umbrellas. Joining me now from Washington are Kristan Hawkins, the president of Students for Life, and Hannah Wegman with Concerned Women for America. Ms. Hawkins, I'll start with you. What do you want to hear from the candidates tomorrow night?
Well, certainly I want to hear one thing, and that the litmus test for pro-life candidates is to defund Planned Parenthood. And I want every candidate on the stage tomorrow vowing that as President of the United States, they will defund Planned Parenthood.
And yet, your organization just a few days ago hosted a series of national rallies. You invited all the candidates to participate. How did that go?
It went very well. We had over 68 cities across the United States hold Women Betrayed rallies. Over 13,000 Americans participated. We had 3 presidential candidates join us here in Washington: Senator Paul, Senator Cruz, and Dr. Ben Carson. And
that's an issue I want to bring up, and I want you to talk about just briefly here. This was not just in one location. You had more than 50 sites around the country. You invited every single candidate running for office. What does it tell you that only 3 candidates bothered to show up?
Well, we only gave the candidates about a week's notice to come to these rallies. We showed them all of our locations across the country. Most candidates came back and tried to make it work with their schedules, or as their schedulers said, but they weren't able to. We did receive a no from Senator Graham's office, and we did not hear from Governor Christie's office, and of course we didn't hear from any of the Democrats running for president.
Yeah, pretty much figured that one. Ms. Wegman, yesterday Jeb Bush spoke to Southern Baptist. They were gathered in Nashville. He said he was not sure we need $500 million for women's health issues. Very good that he said that, but then he quickly walked it back. He said something about how community health centers and other women's organizations need to be fully funded. I want to get your take on what happened there.
Right. Well, thank you for having me, first of all. Planned Parenthood, they have caused over 56 million babies to be aborted in the U.S. today. And if you put that number together, and that's total abortions worldwide, not just Planned Parenthood, that is the populations of Texas, North Carolina, and New York combined. That's 3 states of people, potential American citizens that are being just left out. Basically, 58% of millennials my age, we are basically saying that abortion is morally unacceptable, and it's just plain wrong. Yet we are continuing to fund Planned Parenthood at $528 million a year with our tax dollars. And what we need to focus on is that issue first. And secondly, yes, we need to be giving that money and redirect it to places like the health centers that are not doing abortions. There are those places, and we need to be redirecting funds there.
But it seems to me those organizations are full. I'm sorry, go ahead, Ms. Hawkins, go ahead.
I think Governor Bush just had a misspeak when he talked about women's issues. So often the pro-aborts will say women's health when they refer to really abortion. And so I think he just had a misspeak there. I wouldn't judge him on just that one sentence. I totally agree, though, that when we defund Planned Parenthood, exactly what was in the Senate bill that was just defeated, though, that all that $500 million was going to be redirected into community health centers to provide health care for women and children.
It's interesting, though, Ms. Hawkins, I want you to weigh in on this because Ms. Wegman said that she mentioned millennials. A lot of folks think the pro-life movement, a bunch of folks living down at the retirement home, but that's just not the case.
That's the total opposite. We have over 900 groups across the country that are led predominantly by young women. We saw 68 cities last Tuesday rally for defunding Planned Parenthood, all led by women. The women of this country are pro-life, and millennials are pro-life. I just came across a study the other day that said that 54% of Latino millennials are in favor of banning abortion in all or most cases. That is huge.
Now, Ms. Wegman, I'm going to give you the final word here. When you look at those videos that the Center for Medical Progress has been pushing out, and you look at what's happening inside those clinics, I just can't imagine how in the world any woman in America could possibly support Planned Parenthood.
Right. Well, first of all, we want to be sensitive to the women who have had abortions and, do have regrets. We heard personal stories last week at the rally that we attended. And second of all, it's despicable. Honestly, we are giving no regard to these little human beings who can't speak for themselves. And if we can't speak for the most vulnerable human beings, how can we trust a candidate to speak up for our rights? So.
Well said, well said. Ladies, thank you both very much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right, and now some final thoughts. Americans are angry at Washington, D.C. They are frustrated with Democrats and frustrated with Republicans who campaign as conservatives but govern as Democrats. The results of the latest Fox News GOP presidential poll are telling. Donald Trump has a double-digit lead over the entire field, 26%. Jeb Bush, who misspeaks, only 15%. The American people are buying what Mr. Trump is selling, straightforward talk, unfiltered by pollsters and brand managers. Look, it doesn't take a political science degree to figure this one out, folks. Conservatives want a pit bull in the White House, not one of those tiny dogs you stuff in a purse. I'm Todd Starnes. Thanks for watching.